of these teams have been played twice within the playoffs, so that's a big ban for both of these teams.
Ooh.
Corki, as we know, Veos is a massive pick for Veos is the Corki. We've seen him on many things like the Swain as well in mid. When we've seen him in the group stages on Swain, it has actually worked pretty well in some of the games. But yeah, interesting to see what is this first pick's going to be.
Yeah, the Varus is going to be the ban instead of that Camille. So we're expecting the first pick Camille here. Yep, that's going to go in the hands of Patterson. Obviously, Patterson, a player that has been improving, I think, as years have gone by. Obviously, he won the ESL with Formulation last year, was it now? God, I can't remember when it was, but yeah. Back in the last official competitive scene for Wild Rift, and it's just been improving, grinding the ladder. I think reached rank 1 last season, season 9 of ranked play. Already is challenger as well this season. But something else we didn't really talk about too much was that Kaiser, and that's going to be picked up here for the side of Kittens. Can obviously be played in the mid lane and down in that dual lane.
Oh, and there we go. We see that Galio get locked in for Clue. It has been one of his biggest picks, to be fair, throughout the tournament. So seeing that Kaiser come through, which didn't actually come through for either of these teams yesterday. And same with the Camille. So Camille getting banned out pretty heavily. So seeing the Camille fall through the net is going to be interesting, especially on the likes of Patterson. And then we do get the Nautilus come through as well, which we saw quite a bit on WLG yesterday.
And you can see the main thing is that with this Galio pick, obviously it's a bit of a denial away from WLG. The Kaiser is a power pick, and Galio is a denial away, as we've been seeing, or as we saw really in the last series and throughout the last 3 days. That Camille Galio combo can be very, very difficult. Oh, in game number 1, Veos brings out the Annie. The only other team that has brought out Annie so far has been Government, and Heaven has popped off on this Annie. So I'm excited. We did say that we wanted to see, you know, some sort of surprises. Is this a best of 5? And it's definitely the best game to bring it out. And it's going to be game number 1 here for Veos on this Annie.
Yeah, we've seen him on a few pages throughout the group stages like the Swain, but yeah, seeing him on this Annie rework as well is going to be really, really interesting. I can imagine this is something that WLG has been working towards. But then we do actually see Kittens lock in the Jax for random. So a great Baron lane pick there, especially against the Camille as well. If left unchecked, literally split pushing as well. He is definitely a champion you don't want to be leaving unattended. Kha'Zix is a ban for Kittens there. That is one against Andrezed. So we see him on Lee Sin quite a bit yesterday. Didn't see him at all on the Kha'Zix though.
Because it's just a strong power pick. No jungler actually picked on either side here. So potentially 4 junglers being banned away here, 2 for the side of WLG and 2 for the side of Kittens. But instead it is going to be that Lux ban, so potentially banning out themselves down in the dual lane. Obviously this Annie can still be played in the dual lane in competitive. We do see them mages being played more in the dual lane than the mid lane. We did see it from Government as well, you know, like the Heaven and also Baby Hope down the dual lane, both picking up the Annie. I have to see what other jungler, as you mentioned, the Lee Sin, Andre said, did play it yesterday. I think it's more of a solo queue carry pick there. Probably won't play it this time around. It's going to be that Wukong ban instead. So 2 really powerful junglers banned away there. And with Kittens having that first pick priority on that red side, is going to mean that they're probably going to get a priority on a jungler here that they want to pick. Aatrox is open, Volibear is open. I think they're the 2 big junglers we have to look out for.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting what this last ban is going to be. And it is the Orianna. We didn't see Kittens play the Orianna yesterday, but we do know it is a popular pick, especially in that dual lane. But the Wukong ban, once again, is a good one. We did see that surface yesterday also. But we're not actually going to see the likes of Hesty's own Rakan this time. It's going to be on that Nautilus, which is going to be really interesting. But like you were saying, the Volibear pick is coming out for Kittens.
Yep, as expected. I think it was either going to be the Volibear or the Aatrox. They ban out 2 junglers away. They get that first pick priority on that second side of rotation. They pick up the Volibear. Really, really strong jungler. We saw how strong it was in the previous game, previous series, sorry, with Government versus Forever Esports. Just a really, really tanky jungler. Can deal a lot of damage. Has a lot of sustain as well. So overall, it's going to be a really, really strong pick here for Vex. It's going to be Zeri for the side of WLG. I'm curious to see where this Zeri and where this Annie is going to be played, because with the bans that we did see for WLG, I'm actually expecting this Annie to go down in the duo lane, and Veos could potentially be picking up this Zeri in the mid lane. Obviously, Zeri mid lane still very, very popular with this Manamune Trinity Force build, and Shen is going to be the jungle choice for Andres Z. So not a carry jungler that we expect to see for Andres. It's going to be Shen instead. And to be fair, WLG's team comp is a little bit kind of all over the place, really. I mean, they have great lockdown if they can get it, but I'm kind of worried with these side lanes, because the potential of, like, you know, Zeri going in the side lane against someone like the Zed or even the Jax is going to be really, really scary. I think the side lane priority is definitely going to go over to Kittens in this game.
Yeah, definitely. Zeri's been a little bit 50-50. Obviously, when she was first released, she was definitely one of the most picked champions in the ADC lane, being played by quite a few of top players as well. But like you say, the Kaiser is definitely a big pick, very much a priority pick for most players, either in the mid or in ADC lane. But with the likes of Zed going against Annie, it's going to be interesting catching out the Zed, especially when you do have Tibbers as well. But it's all about how Veos uses this Tibbers movement. Is it just going to be the standard sort of in-your-face Tibbers, or are we going to see Tibbers being casted in a bush to get some of those big Tibber ganks that we've seen people actually pull off before? But yeah, Shen, again, we haven't seen Shen for ages in the jungle. I don't think we've seen Shen at all in the playoffs, so this is the first time Shen being pulled out in the playoffs. And if he's about to be pulled out, it's definitely that time, because we normally saw Shen. He was literally last season, the bans basically went Gwen, Shen, Gragas, or something along those lines. So to see Shen actually being able to be played now is quite refreshing. We haven't seen him yet in the playoffs.
Yeah, interesting enough that Mumu and Veos didn't actually swap in the end, so it is going to be Annie mid lane instead of that Zeri. I thought Annie might be played down in that dual lane, but we are going to be having an ADC versus ADC matchup down in that dual lane. I think the big curious thing that I'm going to be watching this game is the supports. I think Heste and Clue, two of the best playmaking supports, two of the best supports we have in Europe. Obviously, we've had this bit of a meta in Europe where the supports are roaming around a lot more often. They're kind of working as like a second jungler in a way. Sometimes it's just going to be sitting in that Baron lane. I think both of these two supports are going to be a lot more active than what we've been seeing throughout the last few days, because these are the two playmaking supports we have to look out for, and they're going to be so huge to, you know, be the carries really for their team.
Definitely. I mean, possibly two of the best supports in EU as well. So sticking to lanes isn't necessarily something they're going to be doing. It's definitely very roam intensive. We do generally see Clue quite roam heavy as well, especially on the Leona yesterday as well. But yeah, like you say, I don't think it's going to be just your standard support. Just stick in the lane, stick in the Baron lane with the Camille, with the Jax if we see that as well. Yeah, I cannot wait to get into this match, to be fair. We see the Glacial Augment on the Clue there, and Hestes is going for Aftershock on the Nautilus.
Here we go. Game number 1 of the grand finals of Rift Legends Season 2. WLG on the blue side. Patterson in the Baron lane, Andres Zed in the jungle, Veos mid lane, Mumu and Heste down in the dual lane, and Kittens on the red side with Random in the Baron lane, Vex in the jungle, Don in the mid lane, Walbar, also known as Yeku, down in the dual lane with Clue as the support. And already we're seeing some interesting turn of events here in terms of the positioning and the lane assignments. This is something that Kittens also did yesterday in the semifinals, as something that Kittens do a lot. When we have these 2v1 scenarios where we see the supports roaming, Kittens always love to put their dual lane also up in the Baron lane, because most of the time you're going to have this double melee versus melee matchup in the Baron lane. But if you have your dual lane up there, it means that, you know, the Kaiser is pretty much going to have a free time throughout this whole game farming up.
Definitely, and if they want to go for an invade in the enemy jungle, I mean, the blue has already been taken by Shen. It also allows them to do that also. But yeah, to be fair, we saw it yesterday. The duo goes up into top lane, and then we see the Jax go down into the bot lane, going 1v1 against the Zeri, allowing the Zeri to farm up, and not quite going to be outplayed because she can get away from the Jax pretty easily as well. So I think both the Kaiser and the Zeri can kind of make something out of this farming in the reverse lanes here. Seen quite a few hooks from Hestes already connect onto the Galio, but nothing popping off as of yet.
Zeri is going to have that priority down in the dual lane against that. Jack's just going to be able to poke out, but Random just playing on the weak side at the moment. You see here the support's already roaming around. Clue looking toward the mid lane. The same with Heste as well. The taunt comes in there. A little bit of damage onto Random. You can see already Random taken so low on HP. Andra Zed cleared through the whole of his jungle. You're going to be looking down to the bot lane. They did get vision onto Clue low, and that does mean that they do have to back off for now. They're going to back away. Vex is not going to be able to take the Scuttle Crab, but he did take the top lane Scuttle Crab. So for now, even trades across the boards.
Definitely, yeah. And this is where you can see the different levels of the players in these teams. Because if this was Kittens against anybody else, I'm pretty sure they would have fallen for Clue being in that bush with no wards to spare there and possibly be caught out on a first blood with a mid laner, especially with no support there as well. So WLG showing why they are at the top playing against Kittens, who are definitely deserving to be here as well. But yeah, not a lot going on here. Still very close in the gold. Not much to report. It is definitely a steady match. A very headstrong match right now.
And as we're kind of waiting for the action to start, we have to obviously take note of the two coaches behind these two teams as well. Obviously for WLG, we have Acolyte as the coach. Formerly a Baron Lane player himself, so he knows so much about the game. Obviously made his announcement that he was going to go into coaching instead of playing. And I think he has done very well. Obviously as a coach, he is pretty much undefeated at the moment, you know, throughout the whole group stage and playoffs. So he has done very well to set his team up very nicely. And he definitely has put up a bit of an interesting composition here. And obviously Kittens on the other side does have Kirks, one of the brainiest people I think in Wild Rift in terms of just champion knowledge, gameplay knowledge, and just draft knowledge in general. So not only do we have the best players, but we also have the best coaches behind the scenes as well for both of these two teams. So these drafts, these games are just going to be really spicy, and you can tell how close the game is as well, because both of these teams are not going to be taking any risks at all.
No, yeah, I don't think they'll be able to account for any sort of like sloppy tactics or overextending or misplays right now, because it is the grand finals, and this is why these two teams are here. 37 seconds till the dragon is up, getting caught out there by a stun. Clue is Random taking quite a bit of damage from Zeri with the assist of Shen, but we are seeing a heavy presence at the bot side of the map here, looking to try and start off and set up this Infernal Dragon fight.
And to be honest, Random has actually done a really great job in this Baron lane. You can see the goal difference in the moment between the Zeri and Random on the Jax. Yeah. It's not that much goal difference at all. You expect to see the Zeri, obviously with the towel platings that Zeri took as well, you expect to see that the Zeri is actually going to be really behind in gold. Actually, not that much behind in gold at all. And that does mean that when these first objectives spawn, we'll have to see where both the players and the teams go. Heste is going to get a bit of a catch here, a little bit of damage onto Clue, but with that Glacial Augment, is it going to mean too much? And it does look like WLG is going to prioritize towards Rift-Held, and Kittens are just going to shake hands for now. But Don in the dual lane gets a solo kill, and that's the first blood of the grand finals going over to Kittens. Heste as well has to be a little bit careful. Well, what does get caught out there by the Nautilus ulti, and the Shen comes downtown as well, and that does mean that Vex is gonna fall down. Really great pick there for WLG, but Clue is still in amongst it. Wawa's still gonna be able to do a lot of damage here on the Kaiser, but the damage is just not enough for now. And WLG, they completely clean up this entire fight, and maybe they don't even realize that Clue is still underneath this tower. Maybe they can take Clue. No, he does go back in time, and that means WLG, they take the first Rift Herald, they take the first dragon, they take the first tower, and oh my god, Random needs to be so careful there. But really huge play there from WLG.
Yeah, you could tell that was poetry in motion. Like, they kind of felt like the setup there for that kill in the bot lane was a little bit of a bait and switch there, but to see how to see them get that Rift Herald, to see the Galio go in with the Shen ult as well, really turn that team fight around. Not only getting the Rift Herald and getting the Infernal Drake, but walking away with 3 kills when they had none to begin with in that entire interaction. So WLG really well thought out, really well played. It kind of felt like there was already 2 steps ahead of that interaction, but we do see another kill for Kittens in the Baron lane.
Yeah, it's really, really smart there. You know, that the Hextech ultimatum from Patterson, and just seeing that Andre said focus that Shen ultimate on Patterson, and he actually is going to go again. The stun does come through. Yep. Watch the Tibbers fly. There's a knock up as well, but the Galio ultimate does come in. He is going to take a little bit of reduced damage. The hook from Heste as well, and Random blocks all the damage with the counter strike, and that means he does not go down. And Annie still does a lot of work. Meanwhile, in the mid lane as well, there's also skirmish here. Mumu jumps over the wall, takes the kill, and in the top lane as well, there's still a fight happening. Heste is all alone on himself. Andre is low. Veos is low, but Patterson is here as well. Vex is actually going to try and turn things around, but the shield from the Annie completely baits out Vex there, and he actually goes down. Random gets a kill. Random actually doesn't even get a kill as well, and that is a 2-0 trade for WLG. They're going to be able to take this second tower in the Baron lane, and meanwhile, while this is all happening, Wawa down in the mid lane tries to get this mid lane tower, but I think Veos can just get there in time, and he will. So that's 2 towers to 0 for WLG. First dragon taken, and they're in full motion right now.
Definitely that bait from Veos there with the shield on the Annie was definitely chef's kiss towards the end. But that whole setup there where we saw the kill from Mumu in that mid lane as well really set up that fight, rotating around into the Baron lane just to give assist back up to his teammates. Now putting him at 6 kills to 2. Currently ahead of the gold, about 4k, I would say, just under 400 there. But yeah, really well played by WLG. Once again, they take the Baron lane turrets. They've got the other side lane turrets, so they're definitely focusing the side lanes more so than this mid lane. But then again, Wawa managed to do a lot of damage onto that mid lane turret as well. So instead of a whoop. Oh, Shen going in as again. We always see Shen follow this Galio ult straight away. It is pretty much all the time. Oh, Clue almost down.
That's apparently how the interaction works with Heste on the Nautilus there. I didn't even know you could like hook flash in that direction. That was really weird. He was like hooking in a certain direction, then he flashed to actually change the direction. And WLG, they're looking to try and defend this mid lane tower. The Tibbers comes out, but unfortunately it's enough. The Hextech ultimatum is still here. There is no Shen ultimate though, so Patterson needs to be careful. Don, one more shuriken would have been enough, but he wasn't able to get the kill. And Don is on the completely wrong side of the map. Tibbers is going to be able to face check that bush. Don, where are you going to go, buddy? You've got nowhere to go at all. Heste is there as well. He actually uses the... Oh, look at that. He uses shuriken to go back. He uses the shadow to go back, but no, that is going to be it for Don. Heste taking the kill in the end, but they do get the mid lane tower though, eventually, Kittens, but they are 4,000 gold behind.
Yeah, you've got to try and justify that 4k goal behind for a turret there. But I mean, it is a means to the end. Yep, Wawa looking caught out there. Knock up nicely done from the Nautilus there. Wawa goes down. We see that Vex is in the fight. Vex is no longer in the fight. Heste's getting a double kill there on the Nautilus. So well played to WLG getting a double kill there. But we're seeing Random being left alone in that side lane, managing to get that Baron lane turret. So they are now 2 apiece in the turrets. So they are definitely focusing more than one objective. It's not just a linear thing when it comes to Kittens or WLG.
And it's just really, really clean from WLG overall. The lockdown that this Annie brings, it's not necessarily really the burst damage, it's more the crowd control. It's the passive, it's the Tibbers being able to jump onto now, and it's so difficult to deal with. Don is going to try and do a little bit of damage, but that's a Shen that you're focusing. That Shen is going to be taking no damage at all. Heste actually mistimes the hook. Their hook's the wall instead. Don's going to be able to try and do a little bit of damage, but Veos is able to hit back. Now with the second dragon up, WLG were able to take the first dragon. Andre said is about half HP though. Patterson is going to dive in onto the back line, straight onto Wawa, straight onto that Kai'Sa, and Patterson is trying his best. The Hextech ultimatum, and Kai'Sa is down. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, they get more kills as well. It is a 2-for-1 trade overall for WLG. They do trade the light of Patterson. They do take down the Kai'Sa though, and they take down the jungle, and that does mean that WLG secure that second dragon.
Yeah, and that's it.
Oh, Andre?
It's slippery slope. I can say, yeah, a little bit sketchy there. Stunned though, but he's still alive. Oh, no. What?
There's no way he lives that. Don's trying to go in as well. The Torn! Oh my god. WLG are playing with fire, but fire is not doing anything to them at all. Andres there dives under tower. He survives. Don tries to dive in. He dies as well. The whole of WLG survive, and they take full control of this game.
That was just an absolutely nutty interaction there. Pretty much already low health. What seems like he was on the edge of death there. Still manages to get his shield. Managed to block a lot of the damage. Then gets health. Don tries to jump in. Then we saw the stun from Annie come through, and Don just went down again. It's just unfortunate there. Trying to think that he was going to be greedy, taking out Andres Ed, but it wasn't quite enough because Veos had him checked.
Oh, and I don't think we're going to stop there, Blam. We're going to get more fights over and over again. 4 against 1 here. The Galio's going to try and save the Jax, but he's not going to be able to do anything at all. Hesse just goes underneath the tower. He doesn't care about the tower damage at all. The Shen comes in as well, and the Tibbers jumps in as well from downtown. Tibbers from out of nowhere takes the kill there onto Wawa. And they do get the kill as well onto Clue. And that's 2 more kills for WLG. Another tower. And they just don't give a damn about these towers or anything at all. They are just playing with full confidence right now.
Literally. And he was running down that lane with Hiker spun out. And then Tibbers just came out of nowhere and just demolished as well. But that literally puts WLG 17 kills to 3, which is absolutely crazy. They're just about away from that 10k goal difference already. 13 minutes in. Baron Nashor is looking ready for the steal. Don goes in a little bit overextended there into the bush where there was no vision, but they get the steal. Oh!
Vex steals the Baron away, but how many of them can survive? WLG, they've got very low members. Wawa is full HP on this Kaiser. Hold a second. Kaiser can clean this up. Try and land the W. Oh, he lands it as well.
Oh, there we go.
Follow up with the ultimate. Everyone is so low here for WLG. And Vex, the man of the moment, steals away the Baron. And honestly, Wawa could have followed up with a little bit more confidence there. I feel like the Kaiser could have jumped in and potentially cleaned up the fight. But Vex steals the Baron. And maybe, just maybe, there's a lifeline here for Kittens.
Yeah, because I mean, they're not going to make it in those kills anytime soon. They definitely are going to do something with the Baron Nashor buff here. Currently random 1v1 on Hestus. But now we see the Zeri come in, and then Clue comes in to help. So bringing that to a 2-2. Oh, nice hook from Hestus. Oh, Counter-Strike just getting himself out of there, but said Andres back into the fight, taking out the random, taking out Clue. Woo-woo. Ooh.
Clue doesn't give a damn at all. He just dashes in completely. Vex actually takes the kill, but he does die as well. Meanwhile, this bot lane matchup, the 1v1 Patterson versus the Don. They were once teammates, but now they are enemies. Patterson with the Hextech ultimatum. Don's trying his best. He's using shadows around. Hold a second. Don with the solo kill. Holy, the shadows go absolutely crazy. And Don, with the help from the Baron minions, gets the solo kill onto Patterson.
That was absolutely amazing outplay there. What was literally seeming like he had his back against the wall in that Hextech ultimatum. Don still managed to get something out of nothing there with that use of the shadows. That was amazingly well played by Don.
Absolutely crazy. You really thought Patterson had the edge there, but with about 20 cannon minions behind his back, Don was able to do enough damage as well, and really using the shadow as well to be able to dodge the damage there from Patterson. And what looked like a pretty controlling game here from WLG has maybe swung in the favor of Kittens. They do still have a 4,000 gold deficit. The dragon is now up though. This is potentially the 3rd dragon for WLG. We have to wait and see what's going to happen. Random actually jumping in there, gets poisoned up as well. The stasis comes through, the flash into Patterson onto the backline, and now is Kaiser dead. The Tibbers goes absolutely ham on the Kaiser, but now Veos is in a lot of trouble. He has to flash away. Don Don trying his best to do enough damage, but I don't think Don's going to do enough damage here. He does actually take down the Annie, but the rest of WLG are still alive. It's a 3-for-1 trade for WLG. They were able to take down the Kai'Sa, and that's pretty much all the damage that Kittens had in the end. Baron up in 30 seconds. Maybe they don't even need to take the Baron at all. They're looking to try and take down the inhibitors.
Yeah, it's past that 16-minute mark. The Nexus doesn't have the shield. They have the 3 dragons, which is a mega win condition with Tid. Wild Rift. I'll be surprised if the match goes any longer than this, because they're currently waiting 15 seconds for both Random and Don to come back. We're seeing that Vex gets caught out there with Volibear. That's another 48-second cooldown. Still at a disadvantage within these team fights. Down goes Inhibitor in mid. Bot lane Inhibitor is pretty low as well, but they are definitely looking for a recall and a regroup, possibly at the Baron Nashor. But every so often we think that Kittens have just got the upper hand, but just this kill lead, 26-8, is just crazy. The vision as well, lack of vision in their own jungle. Always caught in, WLG catching them out all the time.
Oh, the QSS actually in the end, Wawa actually stays alive on this Kai'Sa, uses the ultimate as well to get away to safety. And the QSS maybe might have baited WLG, but they don't care at all. The Mumu in the backline is doing so much damage here on this Zeri. The double kill for Mumu in the end. More kills over to Andre said. There's nothing that the Kai'Sa could do about it. You could stop the crowd control, but you can't stop the damage from WLG. And this is going to be game number 1 in the books here. Vex is going to try his best to try and clear these minions, but I don't think he's gonna be able to do enough. Actually, he does clear the minions, but I think the tankiness in the end from WLG will be enough. The Tibbers comes down to say goodbye, Kittens, and that's game number 1 secured for WLG.
Just like the third placement match, it was that first match within this series has just been absolutely crazy. We took it from Forever Esports against Government, where the first match was just absolutely nuts. But to be fair, 31 kills to 9. But for Kittens to bounce back the way they did with the Baron steal, taking quite a few turrets with the Baron, but then obviously we saw the solo 1v1 going on with Patterson and Don coming out of ahead of that, and then Wawa with the engage towards the top lane as well. They never really got the gold lead, but it seemed like it was going to actually happen, like they were going to do something with it. But because WLG was so far ahead with the kills, it just never got there. They got close back from that 10k gold difference, round to about 4k gold, but 4k gold